Hello everyone, this is JPL back for another Clone Wars review, and today I'll be reviewing the original Clone Wars, the 2003-2005 animated micro-series of the Clone Wars. The no longer canon TV series. So, me personally, I prefer the 2008 CGI version, but the 2D version was fun when I saw it. So let's just start off by speaking of the first volume. The first volume, what it had going for was the fantastic animated action scenes. Those were the highlight of the first volume. It was really lacking in story and personality. The characters, the clones, we couldn't actually relate to them. They just were monotone, like, yes sir, no sir, of course sir, this way sir. And there was just no personality in it. And the whole story of the first volume, there wasn't really much going for it in a story. I couldn't really relate to the characters or have, like, there's a journey that went on. I mean, the only story I can think of in the first volume is Anakin against Asajj Ventress. Even then, Asajj Ventress wasn't even a character. It was just like, lightsabers, Anakin, dead. And that's about it. And even then, that wasn't much of a story. It was just, here's this certain character. There's not much of a backstory to it. And have an epic fight sequence. Yeah, there really was not much going for it. Don't get me wrong, I mean, the entire thing was well animated and fantastically choreographed for the fight scenes. Those visuals in the fight scenes were fantastic, that I love. However, I felt that they overpowered the Jedi. They were more powerful than they should have been. Mace Windu can just punch like a super battle droid and it would break. And he just uses the Force to demolish an entire army. Which, I guess it's cool, them using the ability of the Force. However, it's never used in the movies that way. Which is why I don't like it, because it's not related to the movies. I mean, the Jedi aren't that powerful, and yeah. Also, I'm not a big fan of those designs, the designs of the characters. I get that this is a two-dimensional cartoon, and they have to be exaggeratory with the designs, but I preferred the 2008 version because the designs were much closer to the actual live-action characters. And I like that. Another thing that this Clone Wars has going for them is that they have a much better adaptation of General Grievous. I really loved Grievous in this one. He was actually a force to be reckoned with. He was actually a threat that you can fear for the characters on screen. And he was just very powerful, and the thing I love about it is that he never fights Kenobi at all in this entire thing, which I loved even more, because continuity with that. I will question, like, how he's able to defeat many Jedi Masters. Like, 3 of them were on the Jedi Council, and he defeated them. I guess, shows that he's really powerful, but man, that's a bit too extreme, don't you think? So yeah. Now, going on into the second volume, there were less action sequences and more character development, which was good, but it was just rushed storylines. So Anakin becomes a knight. That was cool. That was actually a really good story to have. And then the only other story is that he must go through a trial, which seems sudden and out of nowhere. There was just, it's just there. There's no overall something is at risk if we don't. It's like, oh, just do this, okay? Okay. He's going on a journey. The stories, they didn't really feel like a story. They were just, hey, let's just see these characters just do something, make it look like a story. It has a different texture on it. And, you know, the thing I really like about the second volume is how it connected to the movie. How there was the Battle of Coruscant, how General Grievous, you know, how he kidnapped the Chancellor, how he got his cough, he was damaged by Windu. And again, the action sequences, there were less of them in this volume, which was pretty disappointing for me. But the action sequence they did have were actually pretty cool. However, they just made the Jedi way too overpowerful. Yoda, you know, just destroying just the droid landers with the droid barrage. He just crashes them two together, which seems way too powerful for Yoda or any Jedi. And that's what I don't like about this entire thing, is that they overpower the Jedi. They overpower their characters, which, you know, they make them look cool, but it's not realistic. Like, they, in lightning speed, are blocking everything, which we never see in Star Wars. In Star Wars, they're like, they're slower and more, there's a limit to that, which I liked more. And all the voice work was amateur. They weren't that great. The only good voice work, I would say, is from Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Count Dooku, they're only good voices. Yoda, he was fine, but he didn't really sound like Yoda. He just sounded like, we gotta talk fast, Yoda. And all the other voices, they just did not seem to fit that character. Palpatine especially, he just seems like, he didn't really seem like he was in danger. It's like, oh, Jedi, you're here, rescue me. And, you know, there is just no character from him. It's like, oh, there's obviously something wrong with him. Yeah. Overall, I would recommend, you know, this entire Clone Wars thing for your kids, because there's a lot of fantastic action moments in this. And yes, it's for the family for you to watch. It's fantastic. It's not overly complex. I prefer the 2008 version because it's more complex. There's personality. And there are actual good stories than just a simple go and save this thing. You know? The thing I will say that this thing is better at, it's better at, you know, making cool action scenes, and it was better at connecting to the last movie, how it just leads into it. And that's all I have to say this thing has going for it. And to rate, I'm just gonna rate this series. This series I'm gonna rate an 8 out of 10. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.